Shrudinam sutranam smriti nikhila vedanuvachasam paramhardam yuktam hyahila chidajit bhinnamapicha abhinnam swabhavyad gunicha paramam brahmakamidam samadishtam yaistanapi satatamide guruvaran bhagyodayena bahujanma samarjitena satsangame balabhate purusho yadavai ajnana hetu krita moha mahamdhakara nasham vidhayahi tatodayate vivekaha. Harihi Om, Harihi Om, Harihi. We shall recite jointly the Omkara 3 times. Have your pose for it. Harihi Om Tatsat. Jaya Guru. We will recite the first verse of Vivekachoodamani.
Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam.
We will go to verse number 37 in the Sanskrit English book. Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santo. In the Hindi book, I don't know.
In the book it is one more. 37. Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santo. In English.
37.
37. 37.
Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santo.
Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santo.
Vasantavallokahitam charantaha.
Vasantavallokahitam charantaha.
Tirna swayam bhima bhavarnavam janan.
Tirna swayam bhima bhavarnavam janan.
Ahetunanyanapi tarayantaha.
Ahetunanyanapi tarayantaha.
Ayam swabhavasvata eva yatpara.
Ayam svabhavasvata eva yatpara.
Shramapanoda pravanam mahatmanam.
Shramapanoda pravanam mahatmanam.
Sudham shuresha swayamarka karkasha.
Sudham shuresha swayamarka karkasha.
Prabhavitaptam avadikshitim kila.
Prabhavitaptam avadikshitim kila.
Our culture gives a lot of importance for spiritual wisdom and those people who have gained the spiritual wisdom by virtue of a long austere process. We do not consider that the spiritual wisdom can be gained in the absence of austerity. And in austerity also you have two levels, part-time and piecemeal austerity, which generally householders generally do. If you look into the lifestyle of our people, you will find, particularly in the north, all our important performances are associated with some kind of a fasting or another. That which surprises me, because my birth was in the south in Kerala, that even for the marriage this fasting and austerity are there. But this is not there in the south. So if you look into your life, you will find our austerity is something very, very important. Very, very important. Austerity generally consists of a twin process. What is that? Whatever you are used to as a habit or a custom, avoid it. Forgo it one day or one time. Just for example, every day we are eating 3 or 4 meals. Either you stop one evening meal, avoid it, then it becomes austerity. And whatever habits do not constitute your day, add one to it. For example, we generally have different days for going to the temple. Monday we go to a certain temple. Tuesday and Friday we go to the Devi temple. Monday we are supposed to go to the Shiva temple. On Thursday particularly, going to the Narayana temple or Vishnu temple is considered to be good. On Saturday we have another deity. Sunday particularly for Surya Namaskara it is good. So on those days, in addition to your day's routine, you do something additional. That is called austerity. Either it is avoiding whatever you regularly do or are used to, or incorporating something newly in your day's habit. Then it becomes an austerity. This austerity is very important, and you will find in our household life, every month is noted for some kind of an austere festival or another. We want to intercept our worldly life with some kind of a divine, austere performances. Every month, I cannot say what are the items here in the north, but I can tell you about Kerala. We have got a poem which says that every month is noted for this kind of a religious and austere festival. It is not enough if we live a worldly life, a family life, a household life or a secular life. The secular life should be intercepted by at least once in a month. Some kind of a divine spell should be there. So the austerity is of two kinds. This kind of a piecemeal and short-term austerity, or you have the wholesome austerity. The entire life is made into a wholesome, austere pursuit. That is what the saintly life represents and stands for. Now such people are considered to be the beacon light for the entire society. It is true that we go to the temple and we pray to the Lord, to the deity. But let us understand very clearly that every deity in a temple is mute and silent. Absolutely mute and silent. It may be a temple, you see, what are our temples? Rama temple, Rama was a human being at a time. Krishna was a human being at a time. Similarly, there are temples in honor of some gurus, some Mahatmas. Our Sai temple is one like that. Now they were also at one time in a human body. That is why they could communicate with us and we could interact with them. Now when they have shed their body, they cannot speak. Even if the deity appears to be speaking to us, it is considered to be a defect of the deity. Some purificatory ceremony is supposed to be done. Suppose you look at the deity in a temple and you feel the deity is closing your eyes or nodding his head. Suppose you report it. The priest will come and say that it is a defect and we have to perform a purificatory ceremony. Are you understanding what I say? Huh? So there should be no movement of the deity at all. He should not open his eyes, he should not close his eyes, he should not nod his head, he should not beckon you. None of these things is allowed in a temple, according to the temple installation science. So the deity is absolutely mute, and all your prayers are unilateral. You do the prayers, you invoke him, you look for his grace. That is why 100 people go to the temple. All of them pray equally. Everybody feels that I have prayed sincerely, devotionally, piously. And you will find out of the 100, 30 or 40 people feel a sense of fulfillment and they feel their prayers are sanctioned. But what about the 60? All of them underwent the same process of prayer and they were looking at the same deity. If the deity can and will bless all of them, I don't think any deity can reserve his blessings. So he should bless all the 100 uniformly. But they don't feel so. So the efficacy of the prayer completely depends upon the praying devotees and not another factor. Our Srimad Bhagavata makes it very, very clear. Na hyammayani tirthani na devamrichilamayaha te punandyurukalena darshana deva sadhavaha. Krishna tells, when a number of saints happened to visit him, he was speaking to them, honoring them. While they were praising Krishna, Krishna was praising them. And in his praise he says, Na hyammayani tirthani. The word ammayani means appumayani. Up means water. Those which are in the nature of water, either flowing water or stagnant water as in a lake, sarovara. They are not the tirthas. They are not the ones which will purify you. When you take bath in a tirtha, what are you giving bath to? Only to your body. Is the body to be purified or mind to be purified? So can the water enter your body and purify the mind wherever it is? Can the mind be touched by any external elements? Huh? So, na hyammayani tirthani na devam mrichilamayaha. Idols which are made of clay, wood, then stone, etc. They are not really devas. Why? Te punandyurukalena. Suppose you worship them. Suppose, what did I say? Suppose you worship them. Here, who is the worshipper? You are the worshipper. And you worship them for a long time. By virtue of your own austere worship, you get purity. The purity is not given by the deity. Suppose the deity were giving purity. Are you following me? Is it enlightening or it is troublesome to hear? See, if the deity was ready to and had the power to purify you, because he is great, God, godly, etc., he should have purified all people. We are all his children. Are we not his children? In every one of them is the presence of God. In spite of that, how wicked we are, how cruel we are, how destructive we are. Why is he not changing us? If God has the power to change, he should change everybody. So, te punanti urukalena. Suppose you worship the Lord, you worship God, or you worship the idol, you take bath in the tirtha for a long time, by virtue of your own long time pursuit, you get your purity. If the purity were to come from the object, then one time bath will be sufficient to purify our mind forever. A glance from God should be sufficient to purify us. So, te punanti urukalena. So here, your own austere worship is the countable element here. Am I clear or not? See, you worship. God is there. Unless you worship Him, you will not get any result. So your result is directly proportional to the worship that you perform. The quality of your performance, the intensity of your prayer, and the quality of your own devotion, piety, etc. All these factors are relating to you, not relating to the deity. If they are related to the deity, God being infinite in His power, glory, grace, compassion, He must purify all people. Does it ever happen? 10 people go and worship. All of them do it very well. 6 people say, I feel very happy, my prayers have been heard. And 4 people say, no, it has not been heard. I generally quote one instance. It's very interesting. We have a temple in Kerala called Purnatrayisha temple. It is generally it was associated with the Kochi Maharajas. So they used to have the temple, every day they used to go to the temple, worship, etc. So generally in Cochin, when it was a kingdom, people used to become kings at a very late age, 80, 83, 84, like that. So not many will rule for a long time. So one Raja, who was the Raja at the time, he got sick. So the successor, suppose he happened to die, another man would become the king. The would-be king's wife went to the temple and she asked the priest, now what is the prayer and what is the offering I can make so that my husband will become king the soonest? Do you understand? Actually it has happened. So she went, the priest said that this is the greatest offering that you can do. That offering was made. Now after some time, the ruling king's wife also went there. And she said, what is the best offering that I can think of so that God will grant longer age for my husband? So one prayer is to prolong the life of the existing ruler, and another prayer is to shorten his life and make the other king faster, the king. You tell me. This really happened. Actually happened in the history of the temple. Now you tell me, if God were to help, then you tell me whom he will help. So do you mean to say the death of the ruler or the assumption of throne by the other is going to be determined by this kind of a prayer, worship and sanction of that prayer? Huh? Why are you keeping quiet when a truth is mentioned? So it is all a question of what is right, what is proper, and the rightness, propriety, devotional, piety, etc. Everything depends upon the devotee. The idol is only just like the mirror. We look at our face into the mirror. Without the mirror, we cannot see our face. But what we see is our face. And we see only the reflected face. Though we see the reflected face, we are getting a picture of our own face. The idol is only in that manner, anytime and everywhere. So Krishna himself says, Te punanti urukalena darshana deva sadhavaha. On the other hand, the wise and the great people, they look at you when you go to them. You go to the temple. Does the deity look at you? Or you have still delusion? See, it's an idol after all. It is an idol made out of stone or panchaloha or maybe clay or wood. See, in Kerala there is a temple where a mirror has been placed as a deity. What? What does it mean? When you go there, you see yourself. The purpose of going to the temple is you see, you have a peep into your own mind and you understand how good and noble your mind is or how bad and ignoble your mind is. So mirror is installed. Like that, so many installations can be there. But understand, all of them are mute. One day somebody asked me in Nasik when I went there. So they were asking me, Swamiji, we don't know much about Shastras, this, that and all. But we are simple devotees of our Guru. We have Guru Bhakti. You tell us whether this Guru Bhakti is all right and we are all right. I got very much ecstatic when they asked me this. Very seldom people say this. We don't know anything much. We don't know the Shastras, tradition and all that. But we are very much devoted to our Guru. Is this Guru Bhakti rewarding? They asked. So I became very ecstatic. I said, shall I tell you the truth? Will you listen to me? Yes. Then listen. This is the truth. When you go to a deity, you see him, you worship him, you pray to him. It's all your own process. And deity has nothing to do in your prayer. In your prayer. It becomes an occasion for you to pray. And when you see a decorated and impressive deity, especially with some legends, etc., automatically the devotional spirit comes to your mind and you become quite happy. But at no point of time the deity sees you or hears you. But when you go to a Mahatma, the moment you go to him, with his own pair of eyes he sees you. And with his own pair of ears he listens to what you say. And correspondingly or instantly he has a feeling of compassion, identity or what not with what you say. Now in no temple, no deity, nothing whatsoever, this kind of an exchange takes place. That is why I say all forms of worship are unilateral, not bilateral. The moment you go to a sage, it becomes bilateral. So at least you have the advantage of having made a confession where not alone you are involved, the person who sees you and hears you also feels for you. There are many instances where this is proven by different episodes in our life, different episodes in humanity. Now I am not telling you anything from them, but it's very important. Nahi ammayani tirthani na deva mrichilamayah te punandi urukalena darshana deva sadhava. The Mahatmas and the seers, knowers, by looking at you, they purify you. There is a lot of gracefulness, vibrancy in them. They feel for you. They will also pat you. 3 ways are the communication. One is looking, another is stroking, and the third is speaking. 3 ways of communication the Mahatmas adopt in order to give you whatever they want. And these are as effective as what? We have got some legendary examples for it. The fish generally lays eggs in water. And after laying the egg, the fish is never in contact with the eggs. Because the water, it is floating and going anywhere. It is subject to verification by scientists, but this is what our Shastras say. So while laying the eggs, the fish seems to be looking at it. And this is all what it does. But it is very effective. So the sage is supposed to look at you like the fish does its eggs, and they hatch. The turtle or the tortoise, they go to the shore and they make a pit in the sand and they lay hundreds of eggs there. They cover up and they go to the water, never come back. But the turtle is supposed to be thinking about the eggs very effectively, and they hatch. And so far as birds are concerned, which all of you know, they go on warming up with their wings, the eggs, and they get hatched. Now these are the 3 ways the saint adopts. Looks at you like the fish, thinks about you like the turtle, and strokes you or warms you up like the bird. And their glance is so effective, their mind and thoughts are so effective, their sparsha is so effective. Darshanad, sparshanad, shabdad. Darshanad, sparshanad, shabdad, kripaya shishya dehage. By darshana, sparshana and shabda, they are able to generate and instill in the personality of the seeker janayedya samadesham shambhavam sahi deshikaha. That man is called a deshika, an acharya. Why I mentioned it? These Mahatmas who live in this world, they alone are living and enriching the earth. Shanta mahamto nivasanti santo vasantaval lokahitam charanta tirna swayam bhima bhavarnavam janan ahedunanyanapi tarayantaha. Nivasanti santaha. They alone live in this world, ornamenting, enriching, decorating and comforting the earth. It is like the spring season, as I mentioned yesterday, collecting the fragrance from a lot of places, from different flowers, carrying them and spreading them into the places where there is no flower. This kind of a character or behavior in them, these are the verses 37 and 38. Ayam swabhava swatayeva Yat parashramaapanoda pravanam mahatmanam. This kind of a nature that they have, it is natural and characteristic of them. Parashramaapanoda pravanam. Their life is always given to alleviating, comforting and cooling the minds of the others. You know, the saints generally will not have any blood children. And the other people, blood relationship, they would have left. Married relationship they may not have. If they have, they will leave that also. So after leaving them, if at all they think, they only think of the society at large. How to improve the world, how to improve humanity, how to mend their ways, how to show them a direction, how to inspire them, enlighten them, beckon them, lead them and guide them. Constantly they will be thinking only of this. Ayam swabhava swatayeva yat parashramaapanoda pravanam mahatmanam. In which manner sudham shuresha swayameva karkasha prabhabhitaptam avadikshitim kila. Every day the sun rises and the rays are hot, very hot. And as the sun rises and goes up seemingly, you will find the earth gets hotter and hotter. And throughout the day it is so. So the earth scorched by sun's rays, when the sun sets, suddenly comes the moon to comfort and cool the earth with its own radiance. As is the nature of the moon, so is the nature of the Mahatmas. So is the nature of the Mahatmas. Now, to such a Mahatma, the Shishya, the seeker, goes. Up to this verse I had taken, so I will take it fresh this year. Brahmananda rasanubhudi kalitaihi pudai sushitair yutaihi yushmadvak kalashodjitaihi shruti sukhaihi vakyamrutais sejaya santaptam bhavatapadavadahanajwalavhirenam prabho धन्यास्ते भवदीक्षण क्षणगते पात्रीकृता स्वीकृता. See, he has written in good poetry and he will write in various meters. Finally, now and then you will find he uses a gambhira meter, a profound one. This is such a one. Brahmananda rasanubhuti. Brahmananda rasanubhuti kalitaihi Brahmananda rasanubhuti kalitaihi putaihi sushitaihi yutaihi Pudai sushitair yutaihi yushman vakkalashodjitaihi yushmadvakkalashodjitaihi shruti sukhaihi vakyamrutaihi Shruti sukhair vakyamritaihi Sejaya Santaptam Bhavatapa Davadahana Jwalabhihi Bhavatapa Davadahana Jwalabhihi Bhavatapadavadahanajwalabhihi Enam Prabho Dhanyah Te Dhanyaste Bhavadikshanakshanagate Patrikrita Swikrita. In our country, you cannot say which bhakti is superior. The bhakti towards different gods and goddesses to different installations. You know, our Guruvayur temple in Kerala once got fire. Our Shabarimala shrine was also set fire to. In Guruvayur, nobody had set fire to, but it caught fire. And whenever in the temple there is an accident or a calamity like that, understand that that is how it becomes popular. Because people require some kind of a jolt. When Shabarimala was set fire to, and you can imagine who could have set fire to. It's a forest shrine. There was an inquiry, but the report was never revealed. They expected communal violence. It has never been disclosed up to now. An inquiry has been made. After that, millions and crores of people started going there. In Shabarimala, I may miss my figure. You know, in 1 hour, they have calculated, I don't remember exactly, quite a few tens of thousands of people see the deity and go. In 1 hour. You cannot imagine the crowd. It's all not throughout the year, but they are concentrated in some specific periods of the year, 1 or 2 particularly. Now they have opened it every month. So, when the Guruvayur temple caught fire and the sanctum sanctorum was about to catch fire, a number of devotees stood there in front of the deity and they said, we will go in and salvage the deity. Are you understanding? See, there were people, devotees, who said and who felt that we will go in and salvage the deity, no matter whether it is fire or not. Luckily and fortunately, the sanctum sanctorum was not burnt. Otherwise, dozens of them were ready to go in, facing the fire. So much of devotion is there in the minds of the people for different temples and pilgrim spots. This is something amazing, amazing in India. Those people who mock at religion, you don't have any strength of mind. You don't have the power of feeling and emotion. I was greatly moved to hear this. I was not there. I only heard about it. Can you imagine people unmindful of everything, their family, wife, husband, children and all that? They said, we will go and take the deity, not allow it to catch fire. So that bhakti is very, very amazing. In the same manner you will find there are devotees who have excelling devotion to their gurus and mahatmas. You cannot imagine. You know, the deity at least is in a sanctum sanctorum, in a special spot. So you don't mind prostrating before them. It is meant for that. But a mahatma, you can meet him anywhere, sometimes near a public lavatory also. People simply fall at their feet without minding where they are and what they do, etc. There was a Mahatma, this is a story, there was a Mahatma who was living in the forest areas. He would not generally talk to anybody. So one person got so much devoted to him that he wanted an upadesha from him, an instruction, a formula. He did not give. This man persisted. And one day, he was going to answer the call of nature. So he had a water pot. So when he was answering the call of nature, keeping the water pot a little away, this man said, went and prostrated before him. And he got so angry. So he threw at him the water pot. So the water was all gone. And he said, Dur beta bhag. This is what he said. So that person folded his hands, prostrated before him, filled the water pot, kept it there. Mera upadesh to mujhe mil gaya. And he went, Dur beta bhag, dur beta bhag, dur beta bhag. He started chanting this mantra and he got his salvation. Just see. Sweeping devotion. You cannot say whether devotion to God is higher or devotion to a Mahatma is still greater. That is why we say, if Govind and your Guru, both of them stand together, whose feet shall I first hold? It's a confusion even now to people. It is the Guru who shows you the path of God. Without a Guru, you cannot see it at all. Even if God remains, poor God remains there in a speechless manner. Everywhere He is present. But why is it that you are missing Him? He is present in you, outside you, everywhere He is present. Then how is it that we are not getting God? You go on searching and searching. So the presence of God in itself is not sufficient. But somebody should be there to show you how this presence can be accessed, how it can be realized. So this is something very, very important. Why I am mentioning this? This particular sloka, the confession or the beseeching which the disciple makes, it is such a beautiful, completely full of metaphor. So he says, look at me gracefully. This is the meaning of it. Please look at me gracefully and comfort and cool me with a few words of yours. This is the meaning of the sloka. Brahmanandarasanubhuti kalidaihi pudai sushidair yudaihi yushmadvak kalashodjitaihi shruti sukhaihi vakyamridai sejaya santaptam bhavatapadavadahana jwalabhirenam prabho dhanyaste bhavadikshana kshanagate patrikrita swikrita. Those people are fortunate indeed who are able to get even a passing glance from you. They are so fortunate. Patrikrita swikrita. What more? Who have been accepted by you as your children, to whom you are able to extend the loving care, concern and attention. All of them are fortunate. Therefore, I want you to speak to me a few words comforting and cooling me. Your words are Brahmanandarasanubhuti kalidaihi. They are sufficiently moistened with the unique ecstatic experience of Brahman which you have. Your life is totally devoted as an austere offering to the Lord. And by virtue of your austere contemplation, tattva vichara and the like, you have been able to experience the supreme reality in your own heart. It is actually blissful. Brahma Ananda. Ananda means blissfulness, arising from Brahman, by realizing Brahman. Brahmananda rasa anubhuti kalidaihi. When a knower of truth speaks, every word of his will carry the touch of his realization and experience. You may listen to many talks and many people will say, all talks are alike. There will be a great difference between two people talking. When a person has the touch of that self-realizational touch is there, in every word that he utters, that power, that insistence, that sublimity, that purity, that exalted note will be there. Brahmanandarasanubhuti kalidaihi. So your words are enriched, empowered, moistened, sweetened by that Brahmananda rasa which you are experiencing. Pudaihi sushihitair yudaihi. And that they carry a force and a note of purity and purificatorness with them. Yushmad vakkalashodjitaihi shruti sukhaihi. When you start speaking, it is like water flowing from a pitcher. See, you have a big pitcher and a narrow mouth. You fill it with water and turn it upside down. Then the water will go pup, 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 pup like this. So as if from a kalasha, from a pitcher, the words are flowing. After all, our mouth is something like a pitcher and the words are a flow from the lips, from the tongue. So it is exactly like water flowing from a pitcher. Shruti sukhaihi. It is very, very comfortable and pleasing, delightful to hear. Vakyamridai sejaya. Sprinkle and moisten me with the nectarine words that come out of your mouth as if from a pitcher. santaptam bhavatāpadāvadahana jwālābhirenam prabho. Oh Prabho, oh great Lord, santaptam, I am being scorched and heated by what? Bhavatāpadāvadahana jwālābhihi. By the blazing fire, huge flames arising from a forest fire, a wildfire. The entire world and worldly life have proven to me something like a huge wild forest fire. And the tongues of the fire, so to say, the blazing, the flames, the high rising flames, all of them are scorching me, my dear Lord. Dhanyaste bhavadikshana kshanagate. Those people are fortunate indeed in this world who at least get a passing glance from you. It may be very momentary, a passing glance from you. Patri grada svigrada. More so, if you accept them as a disciple or a student and you decide to impart whatever you have to them, that is something very, very rare and very, very great. So it is presented in a beautiful metaphorical manner. Why such verses have been written? And it is written by Shankara, a master intellect that you can imagine. Why is it so? This bhakti, either towards God, as I mentioned to you, or towards the Mahatma, you cannot say which excels which. There are people who are having such devotion. Some go to the temple, but very rarely people go to a Mahatma. And their devotion to the Mahatma is also great. I am told that in the Sai Baba temple, thousands of people are coming. He was a very, very simple person and he lived in an austere manner, in a very pure, if I understand correctly, intriguing manner. In spite of it, see how people are devoted to him. We have gods and goddesses. Vishnu, Narayana temple is there, Shiva temple is there, so many other temples are there. But we have temples for Rama. Rama was a Kshatriya. Krishna was another cowherd boy. In spite of this fact, they have got huge temples. A Kshatriya is never worshipped by a Brahmana. But you will find Rama and Kshatriya, Rama and Krishna, both of them have been idolized, deified. And the Brahmanas do worship. This is the greatness of our country. We speak about caste differences, etc. You look into the annals, the cultural annals of the country. Who was Valmiki? A forest dweller, a Vanavasi. And he has written Ramayana. And who was Vedavyasa? Fisher boy. These two people have written our scriptures. I don't think any Brahmana has written a scripture. Maybe some of the Vedas may have been composed by them. So where is the caste? Gunaha sarvatra pujyante pidruvamsho nirarthagaha. See, this is our cultural standard and value. Gunaha sarvatra pujyante. Qualities and virtues are everywhere worshipped. Pidruvamsho nirarthagaha. Claiming that I belong to this dynasty, this lineage, this has got no meaning at all. It is meaningless. And the evidence for it is Vasudevo yatha tadvad Vasudevo nanamyade. Vasudeva means Krishna. He is worshipped everywhere by all people. But Mr. Vasudeva, who gave birth to Krishna, he has no regard at all in our country. You understand? No? Is it not clear? So don't say, I belong to this dynasty, I belong to this Vamsha, etc. Imbibe qualities and qualities will be worshipped. Valmiki wrote Ramayana and he was a great tapaswin. We honor tapasya, we honor tapaswins. No matter whether he was a forest dweller or not, we have accepted. And Vedavyasa, another person. Krishna, a cowherd boy. All of them are supreme to us by virtue of the qualities which they embodied and manifested. Brahmanandarasanubhuti kalitaihi
Brahmanandarasanubhuti kalitaihi
Bhutaiः sushitairyudaihi
Bhutaiः sushitairyutaiः
युष्मद्वाक्कलशोज्झितैः
युष्मद्वाक्कलशोज्झितैः
श्रुतिसुखैः
श्रुतिसुखैः
वाक्यामृतैः सेचया
वाक्यामृतैः सेचया
सन्तप्तं
सन्तप्तं
भवतापदावदहन
भवतापदावदहन
ज्वालाभिरेनं प्रभो
ज्वालाभिरेनं प्रभो
धन्यास्ते
धन्यास्ते
भवदीक्षणक्षणगतेः
भवदीक्षणक्षणगतेः
पात्रीकृताः स्वीकृताः
पात्रीकृता स्वीकृताः.
We have a few more days, maybe another 3 days. From today onwards, 4 days, will you start learning this verse? Huh? Practice it at least 100 times and learn. Let it become part of your life. You will be free from dementia. कथं तरेयं भवसिन्धुमेदं का वा गतिर्मे कथमोऽस्त्युपायः जानेन किञ्चित् कृपयाव मां प्रभो संसारदुःखक्षतिमातनुष्व. See, the manner in which a disciple or a seeker goes to the Guru and submits the feeling and the need of his heart. Katham tareyam bhavasindhumedam Katham tareyam bhavasindhumedam
एतं
कावागतिर्मे
कावागतिर्मे
कथमोऽस्त्युपायः
कथमोऽस्तुपायः
जानेन किञ्चित्
जानेन किञ्चित्
कृपयाव मां प्रभो
कृपयाव मां प्रभो
संसारदुःखक्षतिं
संसारदुःखक्षतिम्
आतनुष्व
आतनुष्व
संसारदुःखक्षतिमातनुष्व
संसारदुःखक्षतिमातनुष्व
कथं
कथं
तरेयं
तरेयं
भवसिन्धुं
भवसिन्धुम्
एतं भवसिन्धुमेतं
भवसिन्धुमेतं
का
का
वा
वा
गतिः
गतिः
मे
मे
गतिर्मे
गतिर्मे
कथमः
कथमः
अस्ति
अस्ति
उपायः
उपायः
कथमोऽस्त्युपायः
कथमोऽस्त्युपायः
जाने
जाने
न
न
किञ्चित्
किञ्चित्
कृपया
कृपया
अव
अव
किञ्चित् कृपया वा
किञ्चित् कृपया वा
मां
मां
प्रभो संसारदुःखक्षतिं
संसारदुःखक्षतिम्
आतनुष्व
आतनुष्व
संसारदुःखक्षतिमातनुष्व.
संसारदुःखक्षतिमातनुष्व.
See, the manner in which he submits the seeking of his heart before the Guru. Katham tareyam bhavasindhumetam etam bhavasindhum aham katham tareyam. We generally refer to the worldly life as a huge ocean whose shores are nowhere seen. So it's a very huge ocean. That is what our worldly life is. How am I to cross and get to the shore? Katham tareyam. How can I cross over the sea of worldliness? Ka va gatir me. What kind of a plight or fate is going to befall me? What will happen? Will I be able to reach the shore? Or will I be torn asunder right in between? Kathamostyupayaha. Seemingly it is impossible for me to swim across. So is there any dexterous, clever means, an upaya, a clever means? Not the ordinary one as it looks at. What is the ordinary one? The sea is very huge. I can start swimming or going in a boat. How long? With the strength of my body, how long can I swim? or how long can I row? So it is not possible. So there must be a clever hidden means. What is that? Katamostyupayaha jane na kinchid. I don't know anything at all. I have this requirement, I have this yearning, I have this ideal before me. Except that I don't know how to fulfill it. Kripayava mam prabho. Kripaya, mercifully. Ava means protect. Mam prabho, protect me, my dear great Lord. Samsara dukkakshati matanushva. Please put an end to the miserable life in this world. Life, the miserable life, or life in this miserable world. You do not consider the world to be miserable, is it not? I feel the world is miserable. The world is miserable. See, we are all under the Constitution of India. And the Constitution says that there is a governance under the Constitution. And this governance consists of three important pillars. One is the Parliament, to bring about legislations, budget, approval, etc. Another is the executive, to implement the decisions of the Parliament. Judiciary, to administer a note of propriety, check and balance to both. Now, unless these three function efficiently, loyally, with fidelity, with alacrity, I don't think governance will function well. Now, when you look at all these places, what is it that you are finding? We have thousands and thousands of cases in the courts. No subject is decided upon within a reasonable time. We have got a proverb, justice delayed is justice denied. There are a number of people in our prisons who are innocent, who have not committed a crime. Many of them seemingly die there before their crimes are adjudged. Is this an administration under which you like to live and you have no feelings? How can you say the world is not miserable? Anywhere and everywhere. If a postman brings you some money, a money order, then also he expects a tip. I think the animals don't expect any tip. You put a lot of gold on a horseback or a donkey's back and ask him to carry. At the end of the journey, he will not say, I have carried so much of gold, so give me 3% of it. The donkey doesn't say that. But the man certainly says. And how do you say that you are not finding it miserable? I find it miserable everywhere, everywhere. But there is also goodness here. Everywhere. Corruption, 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 corruption alone is there. And this corruption, don't say that it is governmental corruption. It is a corruption from the people's heart who are born in your families. In our families they are born. So they are not people from outside. Everywhere you will find. Something like propriety is not there. Fastness is not there. Regularity is not there. And so far as the people are concerned, they are concerned about their rights. They are not concerned about the duties. Any public place you take, people misuse and dump useless things there. You know, I am very much concerned about the disposal of garbage. We are thrusting our garbage on others' heads. No system is there to dispose it of. How can we get civilized? I tell repeatedly people, we have a number of engineers, chemists, chemistry experts and all of them. Can we not evolve a methodology by virtue of which the garbage is disposed of? I tell my own devotees also, let us at least carry some garbage from 2 or 3 seas and dispose them off. Set an example. But my devotees are never ready. What shall I tell them? What shall I tell about them to the others? Everywhere this is happening. Now, if you are closing your eyes towards all that, I have nothing to say. I don't think any one of you, if you have a good human mind and you are humane in your ways, we cannot have a sound sleep any day, looking at the miserable character of this world. And mind you, we are under the governance. Under this governance, every one of us. If we live, move, act, get our rewards or remunerations or other things, it's all under, just like under the sun, under our constitution, under these three pillars. In the 2-day summit we held in Delhi a few years back, FRNV, Foundation for the Restoration of National Values, I think the Chief Judge of India, the Chief Justice of India came and he was saying, we have got watchdogs and others, Chief Vigilance Commissioner, but who will watch the watchdog? What? Who will? We had a Chief Vigilance Commissioner whose appointment was questioned, and finally he was asked to resign. He said, I will not resign. And ultimately the Supreme Court came up with a decision that that appointment was never made at all according to law. It was, there is a special word, what is that? Non, there is a special word, it's not, I'm not very familiar with that. That is, such an appointment has not taken place at all. This is what the Supreme Court said. See, we are living in such a country. Now, you may be very remotely present from all these occurrences, but the fact remains that we are under such a constitution and this kind of a governance. How can we be miserable? How can we be happy? I don't think I am happy at all looking into. But I am a spiritual man. So even if greater calamities are there, I have got a spiritual redemption by virtue of which even Parikshit got his liberation before Takshaka bit him. Similarly, I have got my liberation, I am floating in it in spite of all these imbalances and calamities. But that is a spiritual redemption. It is not a physical or a sensory redress, mind you. We shall stop for the day. Kartavyamasti namameha na kinchideva stadavyamityadimanaha bhuvi samstidosmi samshantaya sadada supta dhiyaiva vritya karyam karomi nacha kinchidaham karomi karyam karomi nacha kinchidaham karomi. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari. We shall have the concluding recitation of Om in chorus. Om